Hey guys, I just wanted to show you how to change your graphic display settings of your view in Revit, whatever view you have open. So I just opened the sample project that they always have in Revit. And I'm gonna open up the east elevation just because it has more going on and you can actually tell more of the differences I'll be making. But here we have this elevation and they already have some changes in the sky and a lot of their graphics in general. But typically, if you were to make your own elevation or make your own project file, this would all just be black and white. There wouldn't be any shadows. It would just be blank, or just be basic line work. So what you can do is go into the display settings here, and you can go to graphic display options. And if you click on that, there's all these different down bars you can press to manipulate what's within those tabs. So you can select basically what you always click on here. So if you were to collect here, there's wireframe, hidden line, and so if you wanted to change it to realistic, if it'll load, it'll change everything to the colors and textures you have already placed in. And if you were to do wireframe, it would be basically transparent walls. But so you can see here all the textures have loaded. So but let's change it back to hidden line, and we can go back in to graphic display options. So that's what we were manipulating. We can change what it looks like here. And as you can see, they already have shadows in with the trees, and you can see a little bit with the carport and some shadows under the bridge there. You can either decide to have it cast shadows or not. And so if I were to deselect this, it would be taken away, of course. So I'll reapply those, and you can enable this. And so if you were to make it look more sketchy, it changes how loose the drawing is. So you can make it look more like a hand sketch, as opposed to super precise lines. And then what I think is really cool that we don't necessarily focus on a lot in Revit is depth queuing. So all I can do is show depth, and I can adjust these sliders here. So I can change where my fade start and end location is, if I want it to be near or farther, and I can change how much I want to fade depending on how far back I go. So if I apply it, I can move it either way and apply, but it fades it just ever so slightly in the background depending on how far it is. So it kind of allows you to, I think it's better with the trees, if you were to have it be lighter, and the farther you go back, see it lightens up those shadows, and it kind of just emphasizes that there's a depth to the image rather than it just looking super flat. And of course you can adjust the lighting and the exposure and whatever's happening in the background. So let me close some of these. So with the background, that's how they were able to change the sky color to this sort of faded teal color and change the ground color as well. But of course, if you wanted to do something super crazy, you could change it to yellow and obviously that looks sort of ridiculous, but if that's what you're into, then I mean, go on ahead. But I'm gonna hit cancel and undo what I just did. But basically, you can manipulate the view as much as you'd like to. Of course, each view has different settings that you can mess with. If you were in your first floor plan, you wouldn't necessarily be able to change the sky color, but you can add shadows and make it look more of a sketch rather than a computer generated image. But yeah, so you can manipulate those, and you just have to go into graphic display options and you can manipulate those settings within this dialog box. But I hope you guys found that helpful.